E3.
Brothers and sisters, welcome to the Not So Super Bash Bros coverage of E3 2018. Hans, we're here. It's time.
Pre-3. No, it's not pre-3. We are actually at E3 EA.
Yes, here the EA Play Showcase, I think was the full name of it. I don't know. It's the EA press conference taking place not at E3 because they are cheap bastards that didn't want to pay for the floor space.
Yeah.
Yes, EA. We went through what happened last year. We went through our predictions. Did you see any of the pre-show?
I did not. When I came in, that woman was just introducing shit and then started up touching some guy in the audience who looked like he had never been touched by a woman before.
So towards the end of the pre-show, they were obviously really stalling for time because they started talking to the assistant general manager of the venue.
Oh my god, seriously? To tell us a little bit about the building. Well,
Pretty
it was
much,
established
it was just like, so, why are you excited about EA Play? And he was just like,
because we get paid.
he's like, I like the building. It's like, yeah, you work here, that's why. It was really funny. And then we kick off the show with some augmented reality Hans. You didn't see this, but it was pretty fucking cool.
Sweet, what happened?
They had the camera positioned, doing like a sweeping shot of the stage, and there was augmented reality to have some of the Anthem monsters and a javelin like come out of the screen and like onto the stage, and it was actually pretty fucking awesome.
Probably the most awesome thing about Anthem this show. Oh! Fuck.
Hey, spoilers.
Sorry.
And then we launch into our first game. Battlefield 5v, whatever you want to call it.
Battlefield Vendetta.
See, this is what they're calling it. Battlefield. What was Battlefield 1 then?
Battlefield I.
Like, what was Battlefield 1 that this is now Battlefield 5 and it wasn't?
I don't know, Nick. Whenever you start introducing Roman numerals to any gaming franchise, it just gets into a murky area.
So they ran through it. They called it the deepest and most immersive Battlefield yet. They showed a tank driving through a building.
Did you see that snow fall off the roof?
That was pretty great.
That was so cool.
And then they said they have their single player mode, which called War Stories, which sounds like it's going to be like different. Sounds similar to what they did with Battlefield 1, where it was kind of 4 different regiments in World War 1.
Yeah.
Like, and a member of theirs thinks it's story. This maybe seems a bit more deeper than that, and we're going to get a look at it tomorrow at Microsoft.
I think it's a good thing they're bringing it back. I know the ones in Battlefield 1 were considered quite short, but they were well received, so I think them bringing it back is a good move, actually.
Then they said no loot boxes with a knowing wink and nod, and I just have the note, mad bastards.
I said, no loot boxes. Oh, look, someone learned their lesson. And then I have another note later on about no loot boxes, and it says, stop applauding them. Everyone else has done this before. Having no loot boxes is not an achievement. Everyone else does that.
Yeah. Then they announced there will be Battlefield Royale Hans.
Nick, I'm a noob.
Yeah.
Explain to me what the difference is between a Battle Royale mode and a regular deathmatch or team deathmatch mode.
So, Battle Royale, the idea behind Battle Royale is generally a certain number of people, generally 100, drop from a plane, or in Fortnite's case, a flying bus, onto an island or some form of area with literally no weapons or anything to their name. They will scavenge for weapons and stuff, and it is you die, you're out. That's it. It's just last man standing. But the also idea of it is there is generally the play area is constantly shrinking towards a certain point on the map to kind of keep pushing people together and keep forcing the action. They are neat. I really enjoy the concept. Is really awesome. It's just a shame that now everyone is fucking doing it, and it seems very similar to the whole idea of when Dota and League of Legends got really big, everyone decided, fuck, let's make a MOBA.
Yeah.
That it's just going to get to the point of you're going to get these very short-lived ones that are like, oh fuck, we only survived for like 2 months.
It's a cool mode to add into first-person games.
The one, like, my appeal of them is it is the most tense I've ever felt playing a multiplayer game.
Yeah.
There is a tension you get, the one that I get anyway from playing PUBG that I've never felt in my life before. Like, I'd love to see my resting heart rate normally playing a game and then playing PUBG, put it that way.
But yes, just to me, like, Battlefield 5, just another Battlefield with a Battle Royale mode.
Yeah, and they end it with another trailer. This one's seems a lot more serious and somber than the original trailer they put out.
Yeah, what was that about?
I think they maybe heard the backlash they got from that trailer about maybe being a bit too cartoony and tried to right that wrong. I hope so, because that first trailer was fucking dog shit.
Fucking the schizophrenia of games is Battlefield 5, apparently.
And then we get the next game, Hans. FIFA 19.
What are my predictions?
Ronaldo is back as the cover star, and they have the Champions League license this year. That was the prediction. I said to you the other day, that was the prediction I forgot to put in, was that FIFA would get the Champions League license this year.
I think that is dope. I think it's really good that they have it. I think it's cool that it's been introduced across the entire board. Like, it's in career mode, it's in... I have Alex Huntupload written down on my notes. That it's in my journey. I think it's really cool. It's about time. And I wonder, do you think this could be like one of the final nails in the coffin for Pro Evo if they... Because obviously they don't necessarily have exclusivity to the license.
Well, that was the thing, is Pro Evo had the Champions League license, and then they announced for this year's game they wouldn't have it, and that was what sparked everyone saying, oh, FIFA's probably got it this year.
Yeah, then I think this could maybe the beginning of the end for Pro Evo in my eyes.
Yeah, and as you said, they've confirmed the journey will be back again this year. No kind of details about it, like what's going to happen in it. Like, there was no extended trailer this year, but like there was last year for the journey.
That was an awesome trailer last year.
Yeah, and they get a date. It's September 28th for FIFA, so sticking to their general release schedule for FIFA.
I think the free trial was a nice touch.
Yeah, and they also announced during the World Cup, FIFA 18 will have like a free trial throughout the entire World Cup.
Yeah, I think that's a nice
Which
touch.
is kind of, like they're probably saying, alright, this is them probably putting FIFA 18 more or less out to pasture. And then we get CEO of EA, Andrew Wilson, comes out to talk about cloud gaming and kind of EA kind of focusing on it a little bit. They said, like, we are trialing it out. It is something that is in our heads. We are working towards having some form of cloud gaming delivery service. And also announces the premium version of EA Access, which seems to be kind of following Microsoft's pursuit of putting new games up immediately on their kind of game subscription service, which is neat. Yeah, that's cool. I think that's neat. I think that's a really cool touch. Like, I think for Microsoft it made sense, because they are obviously, like, they're not worried about you buying an Xbox. They just want you to be playing their games. So saying, all right, here, pay us a tenner a month and you'll get all our new games instantly is a cool touch. And I think EA doing it as well is probably a cool idea, because if they're putting a lot of their annual franchises on it, they'd probably rather people be paying a tenner a month throughout the whole year to keep getting those annual franchises than dropping 40 quid, a one-time 40 quid purchase. Yeah,
no, it's a good business plan. I personally am probably not going to do it, but I think it's a good business plan.
I think imagine for something to say like, oh, maybe I'll get the itch to play Madden, and I'll be like, oh, maybe I'll just drop a tenner for a month of, or whatever the price this may be, for a month of their subscription service to get that itch out of my system.
How does it work though? So like, do you just download it?
You have access to those games and you download them.
Okay. Well,
and then it's just, we'll ping the server we'll ping the server saying, oh, you still have a subscription. Then at the end of the month, it's like, oh no, you don't. Either re-up it or buy the game. And then that also confirms that for the first time, I think, in its existence, Madden will be coming to PC this year.
Yeah, well, you mentioned that in our prediction.
Yeah,
video,
there was talk of it happening this year, and yeah, it's not come to fruition. We go to Vince Zampella in the crowd. He is head of Respawn and also kind of the brainchild behind Call of Duty. And yeah, he announces the name and setting of the long-rumored Star Wars game that Respawn has been making, and that is Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order.
They kind of just Pokemon this, don't they?
What, how so?
Like last year, where the guy just pretty much sat at a desk and said, yeah, we're making it.
Yeah. Well, like, people have been knowing they've been making it for a while, and kind of, I think it was, on their part, probably smart to not get out of there and kind of upshow, especially considering the next game is Battlefront 2, and not kind of knock the wind out of its sails for now. And yeah, he confirmed it's set between episode 3 and 4 and comes holiday next year.
I have a note here saying Vince gives no fucks.
Oh yeah, dude seemed like he was just there having a good time.
Yeah.
And I imagine that'll be a big part of their conference next year.
Yeah, I think it could be if development keeps on track and it's not delayed and
Yep.
shit. Yeah, no, it'll be a good big part. Don't like obviously because it's Respawn, you automatically think of Titanfall.
Mm-hmm.
And to me, what he described doesn't sound like a multiplayer game like Titanfall was. It seems more like a single player, maybe with some multiplayer thrown in. So, like surrounded in mystery at the minute.
Oh, yeah. Then, as I said, we move on to Battlefront 2. And this guy's quote is, "We didn't exactly get it right."
I have that. This man is very honest.
Which, they have been very open about, yeah, we fucked up. And I think that is probably one of the most redeeming things about Battlefront 2 is how willing they've been saying, yeah, we fucked up. We tried to do something, it didn't work. And we are trying to make it right. I did, my last note here is this dude seems really genuine. It's nice to see them hold their hands up as a fuck up.
Yeah.
So yeah, they said they're getting a lot of solo-focused content in the next week for that new Star Wars film that just came out. And later on this year, we're getting a lot of stuff from the Clone Wars.
Sorry, it sounded like you said Cologne Wars.
Clone Wars.
It's just people going around spraying you with really obnoxious scents. I kind of just have here lots of promises to get the fans back on their side. Will they deliver?
Yep. And then we move on to the we get these every year. They're kind of showing off a bit of an indie game. We get 2 of them this year, Hans.
Yeah, we do.
We get Unravel 2. Literally, the word 2, which I thought was quite funny. So Unravel was at their very first E3 play, I think. They unveiled Unravel as kind of their first EA original. And it was a nice wee 2D platformer about a wee cute yarn dude. And yeah, they're literally doubling down on it this year, Hans.
Oh, very good, Nick. Very good.
We're getting essentially co-op. They invoked a way out here, and I was wondering if they were going to go the exclusively co-op route.
Yeah.
But then they came out and said, no, this is not exclusively co-op. But there will always be 2 characters on the screen, and they share one piece of yarn.
Yeah, I think it looks. I thought it looked alright. It's cute. It kind of looks a bit like Little Big Planet, kind of like the evolution of that. Because there seems to be quite a lot of physics with the whole swinging and stuff, and some of the way the stuff fell off the screen.
But Hans,
what?
Did you see that fucking debug menu?
Yeah, someone fucked up.
Oh, I love it. He's like, yep, this wasn't set up. Gotta put me in the right place.
I think it's nice that you can play either solo or co-op. Because obviously not everyone has friends. Lonely bastards. The guy got really choked up as he was leaving the stage.
Yeah, well, I can't remember if that was the same guy that did the first Unravel, but if it was, that was very similar anyway. Was that dude seemed like Unravel was kind of his passion project, and he was chuffed to fucking bits that it was finally getting made. And I can't remember if it was the same guy. Did you see that fucking chicken?
It wasn't a chicken, it was a grouse.
It looked like a fucking, he was being chased by some sort of fucking fowl, and it was terrifying.
I love how there was 2 humans in there, and even they got fucked up by this bird.
They were just like, Jesus, that fucking thing is huge.
Just absolutely demolished them. Yeah. No, that chicken is, going to haunt my nightmares for the foreseeable future.
But yes, the big thing they announced is Unravel 2 is out now.
Yeah. Just fucking dropped the mic and
I'm gonna fucking open Origin and see if I can download it right now. I just want to see if it's on the store already, because that'd be really funny. You totally can buy Unravel 2 now. Buy now, $17.99. And then we get a bit of more EA original stuff. We get a bit of news on the way out, and it had 2 million players in its very first week, first 2 weeks, I believe it was.
So that technically that means only 1 million copies were sold. I'm glad that did well.
Yeah, I'm really glad that did well. He even said, from the success of it, they have moved into a bigger studio and all. And we get the second EA original, Sea of Solitude.
That girl was absolutely shitting herself.
Yeah.
Nick, there is no way in hell I am ever playing that game. That is too much hydro water for me.
Hans's 2 biggest fears, water and emotions.
Just not a fucking chance in hell.
Yeah, and that comes out early 2019.
Joey decided actually looks interesting.
Yeah, it does look cool. Then we get NBA, which I went and got a drink for, just like last year.
It was just a trailer.
Yeah, and we get NFL 2. And that dude's trousers hands.
Nick, everything about this segment. Like, right, so obviously that kid, Young Keeve or whatever he was called,
Yep.
was one of the ones we took the piss out of last year in the video package. So I have this. The lesson from that video package was, be a bad sport and you will eventually get what you want. That's what it was.
Yeah, it kind of was. That was a nice title belt.
It was a nice title belt, but they made a mistake. They made it the Madden 18 belt. Why not just put Madden on it and reuse that belt every year?
Because forward thinking is not something EA is known for.
Yeah, fair point.
Yeah, and then we get Command & Conquer Rivals. And my first note is mobile gaming being shoutcasted. Oh god, this is truly the darkest timeline.
I really think this is not what people wanted when they say they want Command & Conquer back.
It's not, but it was a nice. That dude in Control. He's actually a really big name in StarCraft 2, so that was nice. I don't know.
I think essentially what they've done though is they've just boiled down RTS to its most basic form. Let's be honest.
Oh, yeah. But it's a mobile game. What do you expect?
I know, but I just no harm. But to me, I have fucking no interest in that whatsoever. Like they did not do a good job of selling that game.
My note is this looks neat, but will be ravaged by free-to-play bullshit.
Yeah, probably. Like any mobile game, though.
Yeah, like if you let me buy that game for like $5, I'd probably buy that no problem. With like no free-to-play bullshit in it, that looks like a neat little thing to kill time on a bus or a fucking train.
Mm-hmm.
But like, it'll be ruined by like all this premium currency shit, I'm sure.
Yeah, probably.
Then we get our last game of the evening, Hans. Anthem.
Yes.
Get a nice, well, I thought it was a cool, nice cinematic trailer to start with.
I also said it was a nice trailer with Muse in the background.
Yeah, I didn't realize it was a Muse song until like the lyrics kicked in.
I still have here, still just looks like third-person Destiny.
Yeah, we'll get to that in the gameplay bit, but they did like a kind of mini panel thing first before they kind of launched into an actual gameplay section.
Yes.
Where they kind of chat about the game and fielded questions that they'd gotten on Twitter. So I'll run down some of the things they said. They reinforced the rhetoric of our world, my story that they kept mentioning. So it seems like kind of out in the world, it will be this kind of shared experience type thing. And then when you come back to your fortress or your settlements, that's when it's kind of this more single player story driven type experience. They kind of set up the setting of the world as this is an unfinished world that has been left by the gods, and they've like left their tools behind. And it seems like the idea behind it is like their tools are at war with like what they've created, and it's causing issues. The
whole our world, my story thing of go out, do missions, come back to hub world, experience a cutscene. That is straight up the first Destiny though. That's what that was. You go out, do your missions, come back to the hub world, talk to the creator or something, have a cutscene, and then go back out. During that kind of Q&A sort of section, I have a note here. The amount of art and talking, but lack of gameplay, makes me think development is currently struggling. Because they reused a lot of stuff over and over again.
I think that was the same in all of these bits, though. Like, during the Battlefront 2, there was like this, I would say 15-20 seconds just constantly looping. Like I saw the same shot about 5 or 6 times.
It's just lazy though. For like for EA who has fuck tons of money, you can't afford to show a couple more seconds of footage to fill in a blank. It's so silly and it makes the presentation feel cheap.
I have a note. There is like interspersed bits of gameplay during this panel bit, and I think the scale of this game looks fucking insane.
Yeah, like the world looks cool. It'd be interesting to see how much of it is actually navigable. How much of it can I actually walk on?
Yeah. There seems to be 4 classes, or javelins, 4 types of suit, essentially. The way they worded it makes it seem very Warframe, where like you're not locked into a class, essentially. Like you have essentially 4 different suits that you're constantly leveling up or swapping between. And Warframe's quite similar, where you have 4 different, like you have way more than 4 in Warframe. But yeah, Yeah, when they're talking about customization, they totally show an N7 style armor.
Yeah, but to me that obviously shows that customization is kind of more limited to the armor, because from what I remember, anything that kind of seems to happen in the hub where the narrative stuff is, it's all first person.
Yeah.
They did mention that you can play it by yourself, but said it'll be more difficult, and I'm just sitting there going like, so you didn't balance your game for solo play then? You've just kept it the same.
They did touch on microtransactions. They said there will be microtransactions on cosmetic stuff, but there will be no idea of loot boxes. It'll be like, oh, I want this, I'll buy this. There's no like random chance or anything, no blind boxes.
That's where I had my note of stop applauding no loot boxes. It's not a new concept.
Yeah, and then we kind of kick into a kind of weirdly cut together gameplay demo. Like I think it's there seem to be quite jarring cuts at times, and then they kind of explained why is because this is the demo they have at the floor, so they didn't want to show it off all now.
Well, that and plus they have to like cut between the different characters and like point of views.
But even when they're cutting between the different characters, it seems like they're cutting. They have one character in one scene, and then they cut to the next in a complete in not a consecutive way.
Yeah, you're cutting to a new character and a new time frame of the thing, and that is very jarring. Yeah.
But yeah, so the gameplay, I do think it is kind of my fucking boiling down of the gameplay. This looks like Destiny meets Lost Planet.
I'm not excited for this game, if I'm honest. I don't like Destiny. I don't think BioWare's strong suit is multiplayer games. I really think they should have just made this a solo campaign game, because I think the world's put it really this way.
What is BioWare's strong suit right now? Because Andromeda was panned.
Yeah, but then that was made by a secondary team who did the Mass Effect multiplayer.
But I still think, I don't know, I think the BioWare we think of, like the BioWare you're thinking of, is not the BioWare that exists today at all in any way, shape, or form.
I disagree. I think their lead team, if they had actually sat down and done a proper solo narrative driven, choice driven, BioWare speciality, it would be fucking awesome. But to me, this is them going, oh, Destiny was pretty much liked, so we'll just do that.
Yeah, and then they get a release date of February 22nd, 2019, which we'll get to it in the Sony press conference. Sony have announced that is the same date as Days Gone. So that is that's a big competition for that date. And I think it's also the week before something else.
It's fine though, because chances are something's going to get delayed.
It's fine, because Days Gone looks like shit. And yeah, that was it. They wrap up the show. They're doing a FIFA World Cup right now, and I'm not watching.
No, neither am I.
But yeah, so that's it. Nothing mind-blowing, but then EA is always going to be a known quantity.
Yeah, I thought it was solid.
Solid presentation, but yeah, again, it's just nothing out of the ordinary or nothing we didn't really expect.
Like, I think it's funny to me now, my most anticipated things coming out of an EA conference are the EA originals. I think that's really funny, because like that's not what EA is known for. EA are known for AAA big budget games, but yet some of the best things they are producing are the originals at the minute. Still kind of sad. Anthem is what it is, if I'm honest, but again, maybe it'll be different once I get my hands on it. But just for me, that's just not what I expect from BioWare.
See, my one note about Anthem is I think it looks cool, but I want to see more of the actual gameplay loop. Like, I want to see you go out and complete a full mission and then come back and see what happens in that town.
Yeah.
Like, that's what's missing for me, is they're just showing off this kind of out-of-the-world bit. I want to see what happens in the fortress.
I think the navigation looks awesome, like the whole flying about and flying underwater and stuff like that. That looks fucking awesome. But somehow I don't think my party will appreciate them fighting to death, and I'm like, whee! Up in the sky, so... Yeah, but like I said, maybe it'll be different when I get my hands on it.
But that's the biggest takeaway. No Skate 4.
Yeah, you got it.
Yeah.
Funnily enough, when I went out of full screen for the stream, one of the first things I noticed in the chat was No Skate 4. What the fuck?
I think that was like the most I'd say every other fucking comment on in that chat was Skate 4 ? Or No Skate 4. What the fuck? The people wanted Hans.
Was there some sort of leak that everyone thought it was coming out? Or...
No, people just really want Skate 4.
Oh, do they? Okay, right.
Because Skate's fucking awesome.
Yeah, I suppose, well, Tony Hawk's fucking died to death. That series has, so might as well.
But yes, that is it for EA. They'll do their shit for the rest of the weekend, and then E3 starts proper. Join us tomorrow for Microsoft at 9 p.m.
Yeah. Gonna be a late one from me.
Yep. But for now, it's goodbye from Hans.
Have a good one.
It's goodbye from me. Oh god.
Sure.
That's sub-IAT's repeating on me.
Oh god.
It's goodbye from me. See you next time.
You're not gonna make it to tomorrow.